New tonight at 10, the Wood County Republican Women's Club welcomed a guest speaker from the U.S. military Monday evening. Colonel Douglas Macgregor addressed more than 4 dozen attendees at WVUP tonight. Macgregor drove in from Washington, D.C. and remarked how different people of the Mid-Ohio Valley are from those in the Beltline around Washington, D.C.
Nobody knows anybody. There's no sense of community. So it's, as I'm going to talk this evening about some of the problems that we face here in the United States, it's easy to understand why we've got them, because the people in Washington are so dramatically removed from you and from the world we live in. They really are.
Macgregor's appearance was billed as non-political. He spoke on the changes in immigration and stealing elections, among other topics as well. The price of admission was a non-perishable food or hygiene item to aid communities affected by Hurricane Helene.